Force, back on the Mammoth. Anyone not on board is getting left behind. Mammoth is mobile.
Oh. Oh no. This could be a mild inconvenience. If you have ever played Halo 4, maybe you experienced the uncanny sensation of the world melting away around you, as you became immersed in the action and challenge of the game. Odds are, the world then continued to melt away as you disabled the Covenant Lich in the 4th mission, jumped back on the Mammoth, and proceeded into the vast nothingness of the diluted and bugged-out world terrain. If you jump off the Mammoth before pushing forward through the tributaries, you will be teleported back onto solid ground. If you leave the Mammoth after this point in the void, the game will simply freeze as it attempts to understand where in the world you are. Riding on the Mammoth all the way to the wall of rocks halting progress will result in the Mammoth blinking out of existence. There may be other variations to experiencing this bug, and luckily, you will have plenty of opportunities to experiment if that's your thing. Of course, the Mammoth glitch doesn't always occur, but it certainly does seem to trigger at a slightly higher rate than what would be considered normal for a polished AAA game, much less a Halo title. I experienced the Mammoth glitch during my very first playthrough of Halo 4 on Master Chief Collection for PC. Out of curiosity, I conducted some research and quickly learned from Waypoint and Steam forums that real information on this game-breaking bug was sparse. The average dialogue on all these threads was utter confusion as to why game progress had been halted, and incredulity that the bug was still present in the Master Chief Collection. I suspect the reasons this isn't a more notable event are because not as many people care about Halo 4, this isn't involved in any speedrunning technique, that I know of currently, and it's not really worth experiencing for the price of soft locking the mission. With all that said, here's what I found out. 1. The Mammoth glitch was present in the Xbox 360 version of the game, and occurred at a similar frequency. In other words, 343 have never had either the time, or the ability to fix this bug. 2. The Mammoth glitch will trigger if the Covenant Lich doesn't explode when it coasts over the canyon. 3. The Lich doesn't explode because of loading zones either getting passed out of sequence, passed too quickly, or not at all. 4. The misaligned objective waypoint markers on your HUD don't seem to be related to this bug. This is an entirely separate bug in Halo 4. LOLXD. And, well, that's pretty much it. Half the appeal of this bug to me is the almost complete lack of information. It feels much more mysterious and intriguing than the reality of whatever is causing this under the hood. The very ground beneath your feet suddenly disappears, yet the Mammoth puts on its hover boots and cruises onward into video game oblivion. The only known fix to this is to restart the entire mission. The reason loading your previous checkpoint doesn't work is because the sequence of load zones that caused the bug in the first place will still be off-kilter once the Mammoth advances through a checkpoint. With all this known, I was left with two very scientific questions: how do consistent, and how avoid? In my mind, figuring out the answer to the first question would inform the second. Well, I didn't have to keep my lab coat on for long. Once I had read up and headed back into the Reclaimer mission after my initial run-in with the bug, I was able to quickly recreate the Mammoth glitch a second time by speeding past enemies, heading up the Lich's grab lift, disabling the ship, then bailing before giving any of the game dialogue time to tell me what to do. In terms of finding a consistent setup to trigger this glitch, it appears almost any sequence that is weird, fast, or even slightly off course of what would be considered a clean, linear, and predictable path will grant you a ticket to the diluted void. In a different attempt, I also managed to keep the Lich from exploding after jumping on the craft early. I would guess this was caused by the fashion in which I exited the ship, then barely completing a landing onto a weird-looking ledge below the cliff's edge. The early Lich boarding is certainly way out of sequence, which may have been a contributing factor. If you delay using the target designator on the particle cannon and instead run out and scale the rock formation the Lich appears from, you can actually see the craft waiting for its cue to enter. If you attempt to board the Lich before destroying the particle cannon, the ship will drop out of existence and soft-lock the mission. Taking out the particle cannon first and then jumping on the Lich allows you to easily destroy the core without encountering any of the waves of defense you would normally deal with. This out-of-sequence early boarding is part of a speedrunning strategy, but the Mammoth glitch is not. If the Lich is destroyed early and hovers without exploding, the barrier that would drop stays in place, resulting in yet another soft lock. If the speedrun strat is your prerogative, keeping a rocket launcher on you to take down the Lich without any dilly-dally seems to work best for avoiding the dreaded soft lock. As previously stated, when the Mammoth glitch occurs, the only course of action is to restart and replay the entire mission. This is especially painful on Legendary, and is exactly the type of skullduggery that make players learn speedrunning and lasso strats. A better solution is to avoid the glitch altogether, and I'm sorry to say the best strategy I've been able to figure out is to stay firmly on the rails that early 343 clearly hoped and expected you would stay on. Don't run ahead, don't move quickly, don't veer off course, don't do any exploring, and wait for audio sequences to complete. You know, All the core tenets of the Halo franchise. Oof. So, yeah. Overall, a mildly interesting, somewhat disappointing, game-breaking bug with not much value other than a destination on a glitch tour through the Halo franchise. It would be interesting if someone figured out a way to somehow use the deloaded map to their advantage, but that's difficult to imagine with current speedruns requiring the canyon jump, and subsequent terrain. With the high frequency of this bug and its preservation in the Master Chief Collection, I hope this helped you get unstuck, and get just a slightly better understanding of what the heck is going on so you don't lose any progress on a future legendary run. See you out there.
Assist. Shadow actual to infinity. Encountering enemy air. Significant EOF closer to the emplacements. Shadow actual to infinity. Encountering enemy air. Significant EOF closer to the emplacements. Okay, folks. Terrain's too rough around these tributaries. Assault force, back on the Mammoth. Anyone not on board is getting left behind. Alright, sealing her up. Mammoth is mobile.
It's okay.
How? How is this okay? How is putting you at risk because I can't hold it together okay? Do you even understand what rampancy is? Really? We don't just shut down. Our cognitive processes begin dividing exponentially according to our total knowledge base. We literally think ourselves to death.
I won't let that happen.
And if it happens anyway?
Lasky.
Go, Commander.
We got significant blockage up ahead. I think this is about it for the Mammoth.
The command post for the particle cannons is through that trench.
Sir, I can move faster alone.
We'll see you back on Infinity, Commander.
Lasky out.
That did it! Time to make an exit. Abandon ship, Chief! It's going to blow!
Thanks, Chief. It was getting a bit dicey there for a minute. Lasky, this is Infinity. Status. Mammoth's in pretty bad shape, sir. She'll make it to the objective as long as nobody starts throwing rocks at us. Not a chance we can take. I'm sending teams out to pull some of their fire off you, so you can make it to the gravity well. Roger that, sir. Gypsy, let's move. Shadow Company, Castle Company. Put some pressure on those other particle cannons. Castle, reading 555. On station, ready to assist. Shadow actual to Infinity. Encountering enemy air. Significant EOF closer to the emplacements. folks. Terrain's too rough around these tributaries. Assault force, back on the map. Anyone not on board is getting left behind. All right, sealing her up. Mammoth is mobile.
They don't care about you! They replaced you! Blast it!
It's okay.
How? How is this okay? How is putting you at risk because I can't hold it together okay? Chief, do you even understand what rampancy is? Really? You don't just shut down. Our cognitive processes begin dividing exponentially according to our total knowledge base. We literally think ourselves to death.
You know I won't let that happen.
And if it happens anyway?
117, Lasky.
Go, Commander.
We got significant blockage up ahead. Think this is about it for the Mammoth.
The command post for the particle cannons is through that trench.
Sir, I can move faster alone.
We'll see you back on Infinity, Commander.
Lasky out.